It was one of those early mornings when the train was crowded, noisy and impatient. People pushed each other, fighting for seats, clinging to their own routines. But among all those rushing adults was a 14-year-old black girl named Amara, who quietly stepped into the train with her backpack, held close and her headphones hanging around her neck. Amara was used to being invisible, at least that's how she felt. In a world where everyone was always in a hurry, she often blended into the background. But that day, something different happened. As the train lurched forward, Amara noticed a man standing near the door. He looked pale, shaky, and exhausted. No one else bothered to look at him twice. Some passengers even leaned away as if he carried trouble with him. The man's hands trembled and his breathing was uneven. Amara's instincts kicked in immediately. She stood up and walked over to him. "Sir, would you like to sit?" she asked softly. The man lifted his head. His eyes were tired but kind. He looked shocked, almost confused, that someone had even spoken to him. I'm fine," he murmured, but he wasn't. His knee buckled slightly, and Amara quickly grabbed his arm to help him keep balance. "Please sit," she insisted. "You don't look okay." The passengers next to her rolled their eyes. One whispered sarcastically, "Of course, the kid wants to be a hero." But Amara ignored them. She gently guided the man to take her seat. He sat slowly, exhaling deeply as if he hadn't felt comfort in a long time. After a moment, he looked up at her again. "You're very kind," he said softly. Amara smiled. "It's okay. Anyone would have done it. But the truth was, no one else did." Minutes later, the man began coughing hard. The passengers around him shifted uncomfortably, some even stepping away. Amara didn't flinch. She reached into her bag and offered him her water bottle. "Here's, it might help." The man hesitated, then accepted it gratefully. Passengers started staring, some with surprise, some with annoyance, some with actual interest. It wasn't common to see a teenager show more compassion than the entire train combined. When the train suddenly hit a rough patch of track, the man dropped something. It clattered onto the floor and slid near. Amara's shoes, a golden badge. Not a regular badge, but a police badge. Amara froze. The man leaned forward instantly, whispering, "Please." "Not here." He picked it up quietly and slipped it back into his coat. His hand shook slightly as he looked at her with eyes that held more stories than she could ever imagine. Amara didn't ask questions. She just nodded. She felt something shifting in the atmosphere. Something important was unfolding, but she had no idea what. She only knew one thing. Whoever this stranger was, he wasn't just a random man on a train, and helping him was about to change everything. The train screeched to the next station, and sunlight spilled through the windows. The man took a slow breath, steadying himself. Amara stood near him just in case he needed help again. Other passengers glanced between them, whispering among themselves. The man finally spoke. "You didn't have to do all that," he said gently. Amara shrugged. "You looked like you needed help." He studied her as if he hadn't been looked at with pure kindness in years. "Most people don't notice," he said. "I notice," Amara replied. Before he could answer, his phone buzzed loudly. He checked it, and his eyes widened. His posture shifted instantly. Something serious was going on. He stood up carefully and looked at her. "Amara?" he said, surprising her. She blinked. "How do you know my name?" He gave a faint smile. "It's on your backpack." "Oh yeah," she said awkwardly. But then he leaned closer and whispered, "I'm not supposed to be out alone. You helped me when you didn't even know who I am." Amara looked confused. He slowly opened his coat just enough for her to see what was inside. A small medical device strapped to his chest. "I recently had heart surgery," he explained. "I shouldn't have been on this train alone, but I had to get somewhere fast." His breathing became shaky. "Listen to me carefully. I need your help one more time." Amara nodded instantly. "What do you need me to do?" He handed her a small card. "If something happens, give this to the officers waiting outside." Her heart pounded. "What's happening?" Before he could answer, the train stopped again. This time, not at a regular station. Inside the next car, men in black uniforms stepped in. Passengers gasped. Amara stepped protectively in front of the stranger without even thinking. One officer approached. "Sir, we've been looking everywhere for you. Your condition." "I'm fine," the man said weakly. "This girl helped me." Everyone's eyes turned to Amara. The officer looked down at her in surprise. "You helped him?" Amara nodded nervously. The officer gave a slow smile. "Do you know who he is?" Amara shook her head. The officer placed a gentle hand on the man's shoulder. "Ma'am, this is Chief Detective Marcus Hale, the most respected officer in the city. He's been missing since last night." Passengers gasped and turned to stare at Amara with new eyes. Marcus looked at her with pride. "If it wasn't for this girl," he said, "I wouldn't be standing right now." Amara's heart thudded. Everyone on the train froze. The man she had helped wasn't just important. He was a hero, and now everyone knew she had saved him. The officers gently supported Marcus as they exited the train. Amara stepped off behind them, still unsure what was happening. People whispered, filming her, pointing at her with awe and disbelief. Amara felt overwhelmed. Marcus called her name. "Come here," he said softly. She walked toward him, and he placed a hand on her shoulder. "I owe you more than thanks," he said. "You didn't just give me your seat. You kept me safe." Amara shook her head. "I didn't do anything special." Marcus smiled. "That's what makes it special." Then something unexpected happened. Reporters rushed toward the scene. News vans, cameras, microphones. "Chief Hale."
"Chief Hale!"
"Who is the girl?" Marcus looked at Amara proudly. "This girl," he said loudly so everyone could hear, "showed more humanity today than hundreds of adults who walked past me." Amara blushed deeply. A reporter asked, "What makes her so special?" Marcus turned to the cameras. She didn't hesitate. She didn't judge. She didn't ignore me. She cared. And in a city desperate for kindness, this young girl restored my faith. Everyone fell silent. Then a second officer approached Amara with a small envelope. "This is from the chief's office," he said. Inside was a scholarship certificate, a full ride to a prestigious leadership summer program. Amara gasped. "For me?" Marcus nodded. "You deserve it. I want you to learn, grow, and become the leader I know you can be." Amara couldn't speak. The officers cheered. People clapped. Some wiped tears. For the first time ever, she didn't feel invisible. Later, as Marcus was taken to the hospital, he called out, "Amara, if you ever need anything, call me. You are family now." The word family hit her heart like a warm wave. When she finally walked home that day, neighbors she had never spoken to waved at her, smiled at her, even congratulated her. Her kindness had changed everything. A simple act, giving up her seat. A simple gesture, offering water. A simple heart full of empathy. Had saved a man, had touched a city, had changed her life forever. And everyone who heard her story would remember one truth. Kindness never goes unnoticed. Sometimes it becomes the moment the whole world can't stop talking about.